If you've ever seen anyone ask for tips and methods on how to improve at Osu, then you've almost definitely come across people spamming "play more" in response to their question. This happens so often that the phrase has sort of become a meme in of itself after years of being spread around everywhere as advice. Jokes aside, how useful is the advice "play more" actually? Is strictly playtime alone enough to push a player into serious and consistent improvement without any other work to be done? First of all, it's a pretty obvious truth that playtime has a massively large influence on your skill within Osu. There might be some outliers from what I'm about to say, but if you look at players from different rank ranges, they're pretty consistent with the playtime relating to global ranking. Most of the top players within Osu have logged thousands of hours playing the game, while players in the lower rank ranges maybe have a few hundred logged. So discounting the importance of actually playing the game for a long amount of time is not something you should be doing. In most cases, especially for new players, I think that this advice is fairly good. When you're first starting to play the game and you're still struggling on 2 or 3 star maps, it can be pretty daunting to look up at the best players in the game without thinking that they were born with some inhuman talent or something. I think that reinforcing the idea that there's not a single secret to improvement at Osu, and a lot of a player's skill is a result of dedication and many hours sunk into practicing the game, is in most cases probably beneficial. With that said, even if playing more is by technicality the only way to improve at Osu, because you can't get better at the game if you're not playing, the advice does not blanket cover every aspect of improvement, and it won't help in some people's cases. If a player is playing maps that are only too easy or too hard for them, then simply playing more of these maps is not going to help them at all, and in the case of playing maps that are too hard for you, it's actively going to hurt your improvement. You can use play more as a general principle on how to consistently improve, but being self-aware of what you're playing and how it influences your improvement is a large portion of getting the most out of this idea. The fastest and most consistent way to get better at Osu is to practice playing maps that include aspects of the game that you haven't mastered yet, but that you're close to mastering. This allows you to steadily improve your own skill by giving yourself a feedback loop in which you can subconsciously adjust your gameplay to allow for consistent improvement, because your muscle memory will slowly get better the more you play. So in reality, how good is play more as standalone advice for improvement? The answer isn't so black and white as you might think, but in my personal opinion, while lots of playtime is absolutely required for improving consistently, the saying "play more" is not always the best response. In the case of incredibly new players that just downloaded the game 3 days ago and are already asking how to get better, then I think this is probably good advice, but for most situations, I think that more nuance can be helpful. With that said, simply playing more will almost always make you a better Osu player, and if you want to improve, expect to spend a lot of time playing the game. I mean, that should be a pretty obvious statement. Again, I'm not trying to discount the idea that playing the game more is going to make you better, because of course it is, but I think simply just saying play more when people have specific areas that they want to improve on or are stuck at a wall is sometimes not as beneficial as people think it is. So yeah, play more is good advice, but I don't think it's absolutely the best advice you could give for every single player and every single situation. I know that this is up to interpretation and other people might have differing viewpoints, so if you think differently, then let me know in the comments and I would be glad to read those. Anyways, thanks for listening. I'll catch you guys in the next one.